everything's swirling right now in my head. That's 25,001.
Sorry.
As far as memories go. All right.
Cameras ready?
So, it's really just a beer with a Diet Coke wrapper on it.
Yeah. Went down the
You
wrong
okay?
way, huh?
No, it's carbonation, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drinking water, and then
Yeah.
what do you know about working out?
I gave I
Oh my.
Hey,
All right, you guys ready? Did you give me my pen?
Your pen? You need a pen?
No, the black Sharpie. I thought that's what you went back in there to get.
See it.
You want a pen?
He wants a Sharpie.
Only a medium black Sharpie or a blue tool pen.
I'm a Devo.
All right. Do y'all not notice I do that all the time?
He chews on a black Sharpie all
Do y'all know? You want to know why?
Yes.
Don't put this on TV. All right. So I do that all the time, especially during games. Done it since I was a kid. Like, so that's why.
Okay.
Yep. It's my fidget toy. Yeah. All right. As we get going here, coming off the field, just revisiting last week. I came up here last week and talked to the press about, it was after UNC last week. Yes, after the UNC game, I said that there was a lot of things that occurred in that game that we've got to be realists and understand, and really there wasn't a lot of difference in that game and the Louisville game except for the outcome of it. And we have to be honest with ourselves and do it. And then after going back and watching the film Notre Dame game, tape showed what I thought it would show. And you always want to confirm it, but it showed that, and really it was a culmination of what I'd said the week before, right? And there's things that we addressed and we had to clean up. We didn't accomplish that and get them properly cleaned up. He goes, look, it doesn't matter how you practice, how hard you practice, how good you practice, how hard you play. At the end of the day, what matters is winning a football game on Saturday. And so it doesn't matter that things are addressed and things are practiced and prepared or worked and corrected. They're only corrected when you go to the next game and they're truly corrected and they don't occur again. Okay? That is what occurred last week, or I should say occurred and didn't occur last week, and that's on me. That starts with me. That begins and ends with me. So, you look at the tape. For most players on the team, there's not an effort issue. There's not a playing hard issue. There's not a competing the whole game issue. It's not that. So you start to identify, well, what is the issue? What is it? And it really comes back to the detail within the game and the execution within the game. All right, but there's a level of confidence you have to have going into a game too, that whether you call it a belief to win or an expectation to win, right? That's got to come every week, right? And it's got to come from the team, the coaching staff, right? And it goes team, coaching staff, and then into myself. And right, we've got to put guys in positions to be able to have that confidence, going into the game and to create an expectation, right? Because you're not going to win any game if you go in and you don't believe you're going to win. Now, look, I'm not sitting here saying our team didn't want to go out there and win or didn't play to win. I'm not saying that, okay? I'm talking about a true belief deep down inside, right? No matter what the score is, what the scoreboard says, or how much time's left in the game, right? You're playing to win the football game, right? From the start to the end. You're not waiting until maybe the second quarter to settle in and start play well, or halftime come back out and play better, or that's not the way it works, right? So this team's gonna play hard. This team's gonna play physical football, okay? Right? That's not a compromise. But we've got to flip that switch and to consistently be able to go out and execute within the game. All right. Well, you got to create the confidence in practice during the week, right? Because whether I am making a one-on-one catch, whether I'm making a one-on-one tackle in open space, all right, blocking one-on-one and pass pro, running and have a man that I got to make miss, okay, all of those things, right, no different than y'all's jobs, right? You're confident in your ability. You're confident in what you do, right? That's how you're able to go out and do your job. You have confidence. You build confidence through experiences. You build confidence through repetition of doing the same thing, right? You run those cameras right there because you're confident to run those cameras because you've done it a bunch, right? We've got to create confidence in our guys that the expectation comes every week, so that when we get in a one-on-one situation, we get in an open tackle area, we get in a make a guy miss, one-on-one play on the ball, that they're expecting to make that play. And, wanting to and expecting to are two totally different things. And so we got to continue to drive those principles home, and not lose what we've done well. Look, we've got an identity to play hard, right? To compete for 4 quarters, to prepare the right way and practice the right way, right? To take coaching and try to do it the right way to the best of their ability. Okay, what are things we're struggling at? Well, we identify those things on Sunday and talk to the team, things we're struggling with. Right? Then what's our Achilles heel? What are the things, what are the 1 or 2 things you can't get out of your way of? Okay? Well, you got to continue to do the things you're doing well. You got to continue to do them well. All right? You got to correct the things that, and improve on the things that, are kind of back and forth. All right? Now, the last one we got to eliminate. It's got to be gone. All right? It's got to be fixed. And, addressing it last week, working through it last week, not all of it showed up on the game on Saturday is being fixed. And as I said, a lot of conversations, a lot of things have taken place during this week to ensure that we correct some of the moments that have shown up the last 2 weeks. So with that, we're getting ready to go up to Virginia Tech, which is a hard place to play. They got a good fan base. It's going to be loud. And they got a really good football team, who I believe these 2 teams are very evenly matched in a lot of ways.
Chad?
I have 0 confidence in my job, by the way, just so you know.
Well, I've got it for you.
Thanks.
I exude the confidence to give you the confidence to do it. Just feed off of me.
I got you. Let's start with quarterbacks. What's the status with Haynes, and then how did you assess Zach's performance Saturday?
Okay. This has already been opened.
I would not drink.
All right, so Haynes is still day-to-day, okay? Mike told me before I came down here, there's some report that someone had come out with on something or another that said that he's not playing. There's one person in the entire stratosphere universe, something that only Shane Kimbrough would know of, that makes that call, and that's myself. Right? And there's been 0 call made on that. 0. Okay? He's day-to-day. Are we preparing the other guys to play? Yes. All right? Are we ruled him out? No. You heard it from the horse's mouth right there. So thought Zach came to the game. Zach is full of grit, full of toughness. He wills people around him to play that way. Started off really hot. Thought Buster did a really good job in that game of putting the position to, get in a rhythm and complete passes early on and move us down the field. And he's going to do everything in his power to try to win football games. The things he can take from it and correct, yeah, a lot of things we can take and correct from it. But I was very proud of him for the way he went in and performed and the way he went in. And now that's not saying that 72 plays were perfect. I'm not saying that, right? And it's not saying that a lot of things we got to do better. But for a guy making his first start in 2 years, really, thought he went in and went in and gave us what he had, and a few plays we'd like to have back with him, but learn from those mistakes and move on this week. Who was it? It was the manager for the Indians. Did y'all see that thing that's circulating now? Stephen Vogt. How'd it go, Mike? He said, I think he had the quote. I was going to bring it down and I forgot it, I think, but I don't remember how it went. There's a quote he had about, oh, there it is. Learn the lesson, leave the event. He said it after they got beat the other night. And I thought it was I happened to read it just right before I came down here. But I thought it was a really good thing of learning the lessons, all right, and leaving the event behind. It's really another way of talking about what we say of, you learn from the past and you prepare for the future. So I thought it was a very timely thing being said.
Special teams, it seems like mental mistakes more than anything, and it was a variety of different people on different units that kind of got you in the Notre Dame game. Kind of, how do you feel it?
Kind of about it.
How are things not going to plan, I guess, game to game? It seems like there's been a lot of special teams miscues this season. Is there anything you put your finger on what's going on with
Yeah,
the group?
there's no kinda and no seams. And there has been nothing special. So, yeah, I've probably, I won't even say, but, no, there has been things done. We have made some adjustments with things because it's unacceptable. We made massive improvements for a year and 4 games. All right, and the first 4 games and the second 4 games are night and day. Night and day. So to deep dive into that and find out the why, all right, and make the adjustments necessary and needed, those are decisions I have to make and that I've made.
Coach, after the game on Saturday, you talked about the value of not moving on, but moving forward. Collectively, when you look
Yeah.
at the way things have been right now, the biggest thing you guys have to improve on as you move forward that you've seen, maybe be a stumbling block at times this year.
What are they? You say what?
Yeah, what would it be that you would say? This is
You
something.
know, I
that
talk a lot about like the in-game execution, all right, and the execution under fire and all that. But I'll tell you what I told the team, all right. Number 1, special teams, all aspects. Number 2, all right, the ability to make tackles in space, all right, and get the guys down and have the other guys swarming around to clean up afterwards. But it goes to confidence. It's like I said, look, there's not one player that plays that has a one-on-one tackle that's missed a tackle that goes up and says, man, I really don't want to make this tackle. I hope not. I hope that's not the case. All right, if I find out it is, they won't be on this football team. So you can't play football that way. But there's confidence, right? They've got to continue to build the confidence. And you go against a player who might be a little bit bigger, a little bit faster, all right, a little bit quicker, side to side. Well, now you start thinking instead of relying back on your technique and the fundamentals that you've practiced for years. Right? Those are the 2 things. Okay. Are there other things that we've got to? Yes, there's a bunch. Our Achilles heel were those 2 things, right? And we've got to make the improvement. All right. And if improvements can't be made, you have to make adjustments.
When you talk about the tackling, is it maybe a combination of technique and in some cases not enough guys getting to the ball, or?
I mean, you hope other guys come to the football to clean up if somebody does miss one. I mean, people are going to miss a tackle here. I mean, that happens, okay? You don't want it to. You're not coaching it to happen. But, again, I told the football team on Sunday, right? You're either afraid to get hurt, afraid to hurt the other person, which I don't think that's the case, that you miss a tackle, right? You're afraid of contact, or you're not confident in your ability to do it. I mean, they don't go into a game and say, I don't want to make a tackle. Before that play, you're going to have a one-on-one in space. You don't go up to, ooh, I'm only going to give half of it on this one, and I'm not going to try to make it, right? Ability is ability, right? That is DNA, right? And we coach up ability, okay? So you're not changing that, but it really comes, are you afraid to get hurt? Are you afraid to miss the tackle? Right? You can't be scared, right? You cannot be scared at any point when you play this game and you get those one-on-one situations. You got to have the confidence to do it. Now, do we want other people swarming around? Yes. You hear me all the time that we're the 10 other guys that, 10 other guys help clean it up, gang tackle, leverage the football, right? Understand your keys, responsibilities. We can get into all that stuff too, but when it's said and done, you got to have the courage to go up and the confidence behind you to go up and make those plays.
Coach, was it something that you may have seen on tape or something in person that has you talking about this feeling of confidence? Because it feels like in the past in games that you have gone against teams that you're maybe not your underdogs against.
Yeah.
You guys look confident. So what was something this week that maybe was a little different?
And look, I'm telling you guys right now exactly what I've told this football team. Exactly. It's not a confidence thinking we're not going to go out and win. All right, we don't want to win. It's different. It's a totally different thing we're talking about. We're talking about confidence and belief and expectation to win, okay? Wanting to win, going out and practicing your butt off all week and wanting to win, that has nothing to do with when you got a one-on-one pass block against a good pass rusher. All right, when you have a one-on-one tackle in space, when you have a one-on-one jump ball, you got to get the ball. All right, when you're running back and you got a one-on-one in space to make somebody miss. That's not anything to do with wanting to win and going and believing that. That comes down to the individual person and having that confidence to make that play. Right? So I understand what you're asking, but no, we go into every game, wanting to win, believing to win, fighting. I mean, you don't play 4 quarters of football if you're not believing, you're not as a full team, right? But if you break it down and you take the 5-6 plays in a game that make a difference, all right, and you got a chance where it's just you and one other person, all right, you got to be able to go. You got to go execute. You got to do it. You can do 10,000 times in practice, right? But when you go in a game and whether the lights get big or the stage is big, whatever it is, all that mental jargon that we talk about and spend countless hours and money on to figure out. At the end of the day, you got to go out and do it because no one cares how hard you work. No one cares how hard you play. There's not asterisks for those things, right? And I think we'll understand that this week.
Take the two over on this side, go Miles and then Patrick.
Coach, kind of bouncing off that a little bit, you've been at places where the expectation, of course, is to win at Alabama, and even when you played here at Georgia Tech. How hard is that to, sort of implement that confidence in those guys to be like, hey, this is what we're trying to build, this is what the goal is, and, of course, you're talking about that execution at the end of the day, but how long does that take to actually kind of implement, to where it becomes part of the culture, really?
I don't know. I got I'll tell you this. I mean, it took several, probably a couple years as a player. UCF probably took 5, 6 years maybe. Yeah, probably about 5. To get that consistent, confident. And you're talking totally new groups of guys on the field. All right, but when 30 new guys come in, there's 60 guys that are left in that locker room that they have to, share those things. And if you look at last year, okay, by the end of the year, all right, that football team, I say that football team, not this football team, that football team, there was confidence. The confidence level and the expectation was off the charts. All right, but it took some bad things to go through to get there. All right, this year, are we the level of that yet? No. All right, are we better than we were this time last year? Yes. So I wish I had a secret sauce that said how much time it takes and I could accelerate it and wave a magic wand. And all right, but I know this. I got to Tuscaloosa, and I think it was year 9 of coach. All right, and it's 11 out of 12 games. You walk off the bus, and the game was over. It's what it was. Confidence comes through the experiences, and confidence comes through the going out and doing it and having those things happen. Look, I mean, we played a good football team on Saturday. Played a good football team. And credit to the coaching staff and what they have. I mean, there's good players, but they were disciplined, well disciplined. All right, played a lot of tight man-to-man coverage. Had twitchy guys up front, good linebackers. Quarterback did a great job of running the offense. So it was a good football team. Right, they played the game the right way. And when you play those games, right, the margin's different. You play a game in week 9, 10. Right, it's different than week 1, 2, and 3. I mean, people have a book on you. They have a lot of tape. They see it. They know what your strengths and weaknesses are. So all of a sudden, what might consider a small thing to some people, or something that you got away with in week 1 and 2 and 3, and maybe a stance that gave away run pass. Right, it's those things. So, but every day it's a work to establish that all of those things into the really culture of the football team and locker room.
Coach Key, same theme, confidence and habit. Your identity as an offense has been run first, and obviously Saturday it didn't go so well, and then because of the score, you're less able to use the running game. But do you feel confident going forward? Another tough defense this week.
They're good, aren't they?
They are
They're
good.
good defense. Good D-line, good backers, safety. I mean,
But you got a strong run game. You
yeah,
still.
we do. We didn't last week.
Yes, sir. Was that-
You like roller coasters? Stick around then. About to jump off this roller coaster and get on a straight shot bullet train. Yeah, we weren't consistent, you know, and there's a lot of things that go into it. And, you know, you go into we ran a couple plays and, you know, you're hoping to crack. You know, they play man coverage. They follow the receiver in and did a good job on first 2 times running a play and fell off and one-on-one space, and the guy made a good tackle, right? 2 yards, 1 yard. Had some other, you know, kind of went the compliments to that, and we never really were able to establish a consistency because of the way the game flow went with it, which was way different than previous week. So could we play better at certain spots? Yeah. More consistent as a unit? Yeah. Could we do a better job, you know, making somebody miss? But there's a lot of times now you get loads of yards rushing the football, and man, Jamal or Chad, I mean, they made 2 people miss in space and took it 30 yards. So all those things go in. I mean, you know, the way they leverage the ball, the transition and the converging on the football. I mean, there was a lot less space out there on Saturday than there had been in the past of you know, make somebody miss, and then, I mean, Eric on that 4th down, Eric makes a guy miss and on the little swing, and you know, then the next guy's there. So, you know, what some games might be a 30-yard gain, you know, on Saturday they were 2-yard gains, 3-yard gains. And then the way the game continued to unfold, yeah, we had to throw the ball a little bit more the way it was going in the second half. So I think we had 3 runs in the second half based on the way the game was. Does that answer your question?
It does, yes, sir.
Coach, there have been a handful of times this year where after some losses, you've been really impressed with the response immediately from your team, whether it be Sunday or when they get back on the practice field. Talk about confidence. That's something that can, you know, really
Yeah.
affect a team and really affect individual players. How have you seen them respond since you gave, you know, the same answer to us that you did to them about a lack of confidence?
Yeah. And again, it's not overall confidence in the team. I have high confidence in this football team. I want to make sure I say that. I have an extreme high level of confidence in this football team. All right? We got to have that confidence in you. And like I said, you build it through the week to be able to do it on Saturday. But when it comes down to that, making that play on Saturday, I want these guys to go make it. I want to make the play. The response has been good. The response has been good every single week. You know, so what I say though, how you practice, how you play, do you win? All right. What's the thing? I won't say that one. No. I always have one-liners, but I have to like watch myself and catch it. You know, it's how people are judged, right? And no different than when I stand here and take responsibility and say that, right? Well, also then when you look at coordinators, you look at position coaches, right? We all have responsibilities and jobs to do. And everybody's job is to do their job, right? So everyone else is held accountable as well. And right, at the end of the day, reasons are just excuses with a little bit of bow on them, right? That's all they are. Because what you see when you watch the game is no different than when I turn the tape on, right? It's not a reason, it's on film, right? That's what occurred, okay? I don't want to know why or how, all that, right? What are we going to do here moving forward to fix it? And those are the conversations that we've had.
I was curious if you had an update on Kyle Eford, and also if you could talk about E.J. Lightsey. I think that was like his first football since high school he's played in like 3 years
He's
or
come
something.
through a lot now. He's gone through a lot. It's good to see him out on the field. You know, I'm excited to see the next time he's out there and the improvement he makes from that game to this, because he did some really good things. You know, particularly in the, you know, as the second half kind of went on, and I thought we played better, much better. in the second half than the first. But Kyle was at practice today. Black jersey on, day to day. We'll see where he's at. He's improving, but at the same time, I mean, we're not going to put guys in a jeopardy to be out longer than they should just to play in a game. Right? And believe me, there ain't a player on that field that's hurt that ain't begging and chomping at the bit to get in there and play and do it. But we got to make sure we're smart too. But with EJ, excited to see how he continues to progress. Because he was banged up, hurt this year early. So been a long time since he's been on the field. Really has. So but you have the first drive was a good drive. Second drive we get a turnover, and then you take that middle part of the game. Third, fourth, fifth drive was take a knee, and then the first drive after halftime. There's 25 plays. Right, 22 of those 25 plays. Right, I don't know that. That we have not seen that. Okay. The first two drives, and every drive after that one. Right, that's the expectation of how you play. But for 22 of those 25 plays, right, that's not acceptable Georgia Tech defensive football. It's not one bit. That being said, I do think I thought it on Saturday, and I thought definitely after watching the game, watching the film, I think the D-line played probably as a whole played their best football game. 88 consistently, we've been with Zeke of just do your job. Don't try to make plays. Let the plays come to you. And Saturday they did. And I thought those guys internally, you see the depth that's been added, really how crucial that is at this point in the season. Those guys still being able to play and improving each week. So I was happy for those guys.
Chad, if you want to wrap us up.
How has Aaron Philo been this season? Sort of waiting in the wings and progressing in his first year in college.
Like all freshmen, he's a freshman. He was lucky of being here in the springtime, so he's a little bit ahead of some of the guys. But he's a great kid, awesome. I mean, he's loves playing football. Guys rally around him. Guys, raise up around him. I think he broke a couple records in high school. Some records of some players that played in the state of Georgia. He's gonna be a good player. Really is. I'm happy with the way he's been developed.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Go Jackets.
Appreciate it.
So we were curious about Enter Sandman. No, they're all off. They're all off.
It's off.